Hey everybody, good old YouTube. They keep locking everything so that I can't change the orientation. Hold on one second here. That's off. Back. Yeah, there's good old Birdie in the background knocking everything over. All right, cool. Everybody can hear me. There we go. It doesn't like the orientation, but hey, so tonight I'm gonna work on a little more Gaslands refueled. If you haven't seen it, Mike Hutchinson Hutchinson has a new Kickstarter that came out this month. Closes a couple weeks. Called Space Gits. I used to play Warhammer 40K and Warhammer Fantasy Battle a long time ago. We're talking 20, 25 years ago. And one of my boys had a Fantasy Battle orcs and goblin army. That's the last time I painted up orcs. But the idea is drunken orcs in space. That's kind of a cool thing. So last time we had been working on this little starting gate. Let me see if I can get this orientation a little better. Probably had it okay. Just can't see it all because of the orientation limitations here by YouTube. I have written to them and said, hey, you know, when I'm doing something with a mobile phone, why can't I use this orientation? Or more like this. Yeah, but good old YouTube. Google, I'm not a fan of Google, but hey, we're stuck with them. Anyhow, I have previously glued up this piece of just craft balsa wood, nice and thin, glued on some foam, took the paper off so it would adhere, and chipped it down so it'd have kind of like a ramp effect. Something went back and put on this side, you can see it better. Put on some more foam. This side here has this little notch cut out, and when the gate sits on it, then the idea is that the wires coming out will have space to go. And I was going to build a little housing or something, but I think it's just going to stay as is. So let me see if I kill this overhead light. Yeah, you can see the little blink. So we got that working. That's buried inside this piping, which I painted silver, the silver aluminum color actually. I actually think it's burnt metal. And I put some heavy chipping fluid on it and color one side yellow, which in overhead pipe work is considered flammable. Lisa said hi. Hey, Lisa. Love your videos. Just subscribed. Hey, thanks. My eyesight sucks. Is that Kiki? Thank you very much. This is new, going live stream all the time, but it's something just to putter around. So and then I took I have a little 3D printed clear part in there. And so I was saying this would be like flammable liquids compressed, and then blue represents compressed air. So my thought is the crazy folks would turn this brass dial on this side, turn the brass dial on that side when the games start, and this little fan starts spinning, and you get the flammable liquids and the compressed air, and boom, they let it off, and boom, you get this big explosion and fuel explosion thingy. It's not really as exciting as I had hoped it would look, especially on camera, because this has got to sit here on this little 3D. You can actually see the top. You can see it light up, but I think if I just left the T candle thing and gone, but even if it doesn't work, I don't care. I still got, we had talked about this gizmo last Saturday. Some explosions. I actually got it laced up. I need to bring I have two LEDs hooked on this one. I haven't hooked it up to the switch. So the idea behind this, I think I got an LED sitting. Let me turn the light back on. Yeah, I got an LED sitting here. That we would have positive and negative lead. And that would give you the warm T light and then the bright white. And I'm going to put those where maybe this is down inside, giving you the warmth, and push this further up into the mushroom smoke cloud billowing out type of deal. So we'll play around there. We may get to that tonight. We'll see. I should have some time. Other crap has been on the bench. I've been playing some Forbidden Psalms. I got these. Same guy that did the pipe stuff. Done these a long time ago. Just decided to speed paint them up. They're just grave markers for trench warfare. I'm going to use them for a particular scenario in a graveyard. Anyhow, let's going to use some Vallejo earth texture acrylic desert sand, which does not match the color of anything else. Let me grab a chunk of terrain. Here's work done. This is one of the finish gate, or gate number 2 in this case. And you can see it's kind of a brown color. So what I did is I used that earth texture and then I painted it. And these things have been pushed down into it. The gate itself, I just left an impression and came back and glued it later because I had to do all the weathering on it. So we'll see how that goes here. I may just make an impression and then come back and glue all these bits in later. But I do have some line markers. And first thing I got to do, because I probably end up covering all this up, is find a pencil. And you would think on this crappy desk I would have a pencil handy. And that's the one thing I don't have is a pencil or even a marker. Oh, it's down on the floor. I apologize. Today is day 4 of a 7-day continuous work for me. And it's very manual. So I'll mark my center line. That's where that gate's going to go, is right there. And I'm probably off camera already. And this gate's going to go right here. So there. Cool beans. So this stuff, once you get it open, I've used before for some dioramas when I'm actually doing beach scenes. I don't know how many more. I might do some more Pacific stuff where they have these bright, yellowy mustard colors. I end up adding some speed paint to it. So this stuff is really cool, very easy. We're just going to, let me slide this down. I'm just going to smear it on. And that will cover up all those big steps. And it's acrylic, so it dries fast, but not super fast. And it gives you this really nice sandy texture. So I'm just going to give all the foam covered up. And this shouldn't take too long. My finish gate, I actually pushed some fine pieces of balsa as little arrows, like there, and painted them up like they were rusted up metal, painted yellow, pushed into sand, sort of like go this way, you can't go the other way. This one's more going to be like a toll gate situation. And it's the start line, right? It's like pretty obvious. Got the fans going nuts by having that big fire. Think Mad Max. I should have put gloves on. But that's me. This desktop is a mess. And this is actually a keyboard tray on my desk. I never use it for computers. Always right from day one. It's been a crafting desk, and trying to think how many years I've had it now. I've been here for 6, 7, maybe 8 years. I've had this desk. So let's move between 3 houses and 2 apartments. Well, it wasn't in the apartments; it was in storage. So it survived a couple storage stores, and everything was moved by moving companies. So I doubt it was climate control, but it was probably better than like a used store place. Not much more, but at least they would make them weather tight, because if it got damaged, then their insurance was paying. And we all know how insurance companies feel about actually paying out claims. So all I'm doing here is just getting it like buttering a cake. Just trying to get a nice semi-even, because I don't really care if it's super even, but for gameplay, I'd like it to be even enough that the cars don't sit wonky. And I've got some spare tires when I was messing around. These edges are just foam. I'll come back and fill in that little gap there, but I'll come back and just paint those like a base, like a rim on a figure. Just paint them black. That'll just note, hey, that's the end of the illusion. Moving along. Get some in there just to give it some texture when I paint it. Let's see how the other side looks. Yeah, it's got a gap too. See that gap? Just the gap fills. It's a nice paste. It's sand and acrylic paste. Could probably make it myself, but it's nice that it has color match. I got like a European mud and dirt and something else. Two dirts, I think, and a mud. Let me see. Yeah, I've got like dark dirt, European mud, and some other mud, probably Russian front mud or something. I like them enough, I should just buy their full sets. So, like I said, now you can move it around, you can score it up. It's got some life to it. I said I should have wore gloves, because it does dry on your skin quick enough, but it always seems like it's never super quick enough. I'm trying not to get any. And so the goal here is, I could use this like an adhesive and just press these in and hold them. I'll turn that battery flasher off. And you can already see some of it's sticking up, so I'll have to wash that off. But what I want to do is, like, these are coming up out of the ground, so I'm going to put a little more texture there. Same thing on the other side, which is both of those are off camera. So let me show you what I'm doing here. Just putting a little more extra texture paste. Get this lined up. One goes there, and one goes there. Boom. And I'll come back. And I got this cheap brush. This cheap brush, like I was saying. Flat brush, push everything in place. Come back and wash that off before it dries. And each of these is going to get a barrier, right? It's like, it's going to go right in there like that. My other curved one. Oh, it's under my hand. And that kind of keeps the yahoos from driving into the pipe. I mean, the fitters don't want to get crashed into. Here's my other line. Now that one, again, it's going to need a little texture paste on the ramp part here. That's the beauty of this stuff. Like I said, it acts like an adhesive. So I can just add a little bit of paste. Use the brush. I can just push it up, pile it up. The thicker it is, a little bit longer it'll take to dry, but overnight, this will be all dry and ready for some dry brushing, coloring. I'm probably going to hit it with some, whatchamacallit, speed paint, because I like the way it gets into all the texturing. Let's see, we can just add a little bit of texture. I could add some rocks and debris and stuff and get ultra realistic, but first of all, I don't have them prepared. Second of all, it's a play piece, right? All it's going to do is start and then it's done. It'll have no more effect in the game unless I have an out and back loop where they have to come back through here. That could be a cool concept. All right, let's get a little extra texture paste right down here. And now, well, I got white. Did I mess this up? I think I want this one over here, white and orange. Yeah. But this paste is forgiving, like I said. These will be good because this will have the orange up on my little mark. Like right there. I'll have the orange. And a little bit on a white piece. Here's another white piece here. And so now you got white, orange, white, orange, white. And that does not seem like it's centered, does it? Still looks like it's too far off kilter. Oh, you know what it is? This one's too far over. It needs to come back. Do I have enough? Nah, I didn't paint enough white ones to do a bunch of individuals. So I want to take this piece off. And like I said, I'll come back and actually that's not too bad. I might just leave that. I just don't know if there's enough there to keep it in place. So I think I'll come back and I'll super glue that in place. Plus I need to do some finishing on it. So I'll lay that down. There's a white one there. That looks pretty even. I think it's probably come this way a little bit. And if you guys hear some stomping around, it's the birdie dog. Hey, Stephen Parker. I don't know how long ago he said hello. I've been focused on but I'm sorry, but welcome. This is very ad hoc. So I've got these, that's the dog. I've got these leftover wheels. And all I'm going to do, yeah, don't you growl at me. She might need to go out. So I'm just going to take those. Thought processes to get some tire tracks. It may not even show up as tire tracks, but all this stuff is, I might need to let it dry a little bit. Tell what I'm going to do, because they're not really showing a good pattern. I'm just going to put some, try and brush. And this is just a cheap craft brush off of Amazon. So because it's probably not going to be useful for anything after this. This doesn't have any streaks in it at all right here. I feel like that gate is too close. It needs to come. It's starting to get to the point where it's getting tacky. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it looks better. I'm just gonna scuff this up. That doesn't look as good as these, does it? A little bit of tank, a little bit of tire track mark. I said, come back in an hour or two, and this is going to be rock hard. And there's no coming back. Those are trash. Those are gone. Get some texture paste. Wow, I wish I had like a dry sink down here or something. The best I can do is just an old yogurt cup, some tap water. If I wanted to salvage those, just throw them in there. So it cleans up with water, which is really nice. A texture paste. See if I can get some off my hands. Getting all over the place. And like I said, this got sprayed with I got one more light I haven't turned on. That'll probably help. This got sprayed up with that crackle paste, and it really did not allow the paint to adhere, and more came off than I wanted. And then I hit it with a black wash. You can see it came out. I was like, wow, that really looks grungy. And I'm like, you know what? That's perfect. I'll leave the brass because brass doesn't rust. The paint all flecked off of this stuff. And then I try to do like a burnt metal effect in here because that's where the flame's going to come out. Cool. Then I can super glue that in place after this all dries. So let me see if I can't get some more of this texture paste off the old skin. I really do make a mess when I craft. Single white, is that? I could do them like that. Nah, we're good. All right, well, that's the gate structure. Done and dusted. Now, again, this is acrylic. So you want to using that thin board would have been nice, except all that moisture in the acrylic. It'll probably still warp a little bit from the white glue and whatnot. But next week we should have this completely painted up. So I'm just gonna stick that up on the desk, let her dry. And just like that, man, 24, 25 minutes are gone by. I often wonder, like, how am I gonna fill an hour when I only have like one little tiny project to do? Tell you what, I'm gonna go step out real quick and wash my hands. Plus the dog is gonna be right back. guys can hear Tweety birds and the sliding door. I'm in the basement. Step out, there's an outside faucet. Just wash the hands, get those nice and clean-ish. But at least now I feel like I can kind of handle a model that's not going to get all fudged. So the other thing we got to do is work on this. Trying to think if I got some more solder. So the thought process is, how do I get the leads up here? Let me see. This was unscripted, unprepared. These black and white wires. So yeah, I'm going off script now, guys. Maybe I don't need these. I have these set here. There we go, yeah. So let's see if this will work now. This was last week. I think we did a quick soldering. Soldered these up. So what I'm going to try and do, see if we can't make a small enough knot. Oh, I can smell the soldering iron kicking on. I'll leave him off for now. All right, here we go. I don't know if that's not, I don't think that knot is small enough. I think it's only a 1/4 inch hole in there. This is the problem I had last week trying to get the wire rethreaded. And then off camera, I just fiddled around with it. What I should have done is already did this. That's too big of a knot. And you need something flexible during that curve. That's why it was so much easier to pre-thread it. And I didn't think about it when I did this first one. I just said, oh, I'll be able to pull the wire through. Not so much. What if we try and just use some tape? Let's see if we can't put enough tape on there. I think I said this last time too. It's like somebody like a Tamiya or someone needs to come up with a modeler's fishing line. Like you see electricians when they get the fish tape. They're trying to thread a new circuit through your wall instead of pulling all the plaster up. They just drill a hole where they want it to come out, a hole where they want it to go in, and drop the fish tape in. Probably not a big enough market. All right. Nope, it's not going to stay. So, luckily, to me, a tape comes off pretty easy. But it ain't cheap. But it isn't so expensive that I don't mind using it. All right, there's that end. So let's try this. Let's try putting a knot in this end. I don't even know if that'll go through gold. Try it. And then I've got this one, the positive and the negative. I do apologize. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. But if I can get it to work, you will see the results. All right, so what it's telling me is don't pull too hard. There's this little tiny hole that actually was designed into the part, into the STL, so that the resin could drain out when you're 3D printing it. I know the other thing I promised to show you guys. Oh, success. There we go. Like I like to say, there's always 100 million ways to skin a cat. So you do what works for you. There we go. That's gone. So what this is going to let me do, as I don't screw it up, now I've got all this lead that I can find a battery cover case. Bump the camera, sorry. I said that one's going to go in there. Thought process being this one will follow the smoke. Do I have any more cotton? Here's some cotton flesh. This has not been textured up, but let's just say it would make that all kinds of smoke and fire and whatnot. Let me kill some lights. Find my battery. That's the negative. Where's my red lead? There's the positive. And so, yeah, that bright light's a bit too bright. You can even see like the yellow color in the inside. I get that pulled out a little bit further. I think that's pushed in too far. Let's have to cover all those up. I don't know if the dual light thing is necessary or needed, but I was thinking like a warm color down near the base and this bright color at the top. They kind of blink at the same rate because it's off the flickering LED. Something like that. And this may need to be pulled. Further down. Yeah. And once I paint it up to look more like this, I don't even know if that would work in here. I don't think my clear thing is doing what I thought it would do. Under. I'm doing this all one-handed because I'm holding the battery. No, I like that. That looks good. Where is... Yeah, I thought it would pull the color further up. Go back to this one. I don't know if the dual color is going to work. But that 5mm LED is much, much, much brighter than the 3. Again, that was just taken from a tea candle. In fact, I think this one may still... This one might be arranged differently. He doesn't want to give up the ghost, but there's a, there we go. It's just a cover. So I get another flickering tea candle. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way that, again, if I can get a little more around that bright white one, I think that could work. All right, cool. So we got to work on building the base on this. Getting these placed exactly where I want to put them. It might go something like this. That's the plus. That's the neg. I kind of like that. That kind of looks cool. Yeah. And it's got, I don't think I've ever shown you the backside, but it's got this fire warning hazard thing on there. But we'll put this on a simple base. It'll just be a piece of terrain. Cool, stop that. That's it. I got a gate 1 and a gate 2 and a finish line. The finish line's got another big arch on it. I gotta take this piece. Looks like it's starting to bow from where I set it. So let me get this. Again, this is the piece we worked on tonight. I'm gonna go set that on the table, get it flat. So we got the finish line. And this texture paste gets everywhere, folks. Just be aware of that. That's why I should have wore gloves. Get the lights back on. But there's my finish line. Just with bamboo skewers, there's those yellow marks. I gotta grind those up a little better. And I've got gate number 1, gate number 2, the finish. And then long time ago, I printed this off the internet. This is what kind of was my inspiration. I don't know what happened to the other gates. I think I have a 1 and a 2, but I have this really cool Gasland sign, so that'll probably sit someplace like an entrance. The big piece we worked on last week. This guy. Let's see if we can get ourselves back here. Still got to work on the base, but now you can see it's firmly in place. Just a big old billboard. We'll probably work on this week. I just had way too many hours at work, so I'll put some texture on this. Figure out how I want to do it. Weigh it down. It feels too big, but we'll see when we get it on the board what it looks like. And then the original piece that I built, still toying with the idea if I want to put lights actually in these light holders. But this is kind of the grimy look that I want to go for. Some stuff around it. That other one, there'd probably be a ruin pile of some of these. I mean, who the heck wants a Tesla? But anyhow, I got that. Trying to think what else we got going. I got to build some cars at some point. I dug out some old cars that I had made many moons ago. Just a simple little buggy that I repainted and rusted up. Nothing super special about it, but I don't know if you can see. It's got the in there. It shows up better. This one I really like. This one was really fun to build. I don't think there was much to modify other than I changed the glass out and I've added this piping. This actually, I think, was green stuff I rolled out. It looked like a piping. I put some of the grindling on the front. This one's kind of cool. I like this one. Different colored door. This one, I stripped. Oh yeah, I put the scoop on the front, painted it all up. I don't know. I might use those. And I had started on modified big gold pickup truck. But I think what I'm going to go back to is just something really simple, just 3 simple cars, and have and get like a 2-man, 3-man team built up, and maybe run some solo games. Dog back in. I think last time, I got a small, simple video. I got to put it when I get up there. One of the things is you got the skid dice and stuff, and your opponent's supposed to move those. So I made these that just say, hey, no, you stay put, or this is the way you go. So if it was at the end of a skid, you roll it, and he would skid that way. Take the opponent part out of it, let the dice figure out where you're going to go. Anyhow, that's all I got for tonight. Really appreciate everybody coming by and saying hello. We'll try and keep these Saturdays going as long as I got something to do. I'm trying to think for next week. I'm hoping I can get some terrain finished for Gaslands, and I need to get started. I've got a lot of stuff in the queue. I I've got some old squigs and an old giant from GW that are mostly done. Also, maybe we'll build some Gasland cars. We'll stop fiddling around with the other stuff, and then I don't know, man. Maybe we'll do a live solo game. Like I said, I've also just pledged Mike Hutchinson's new Kickstarter for Space Skits, so I probably will at some point. That's a definite 2-player game. Probably will get some stuff printed out just because I like 3D printing. If I can get the railroad to run consistently, I may do that. But anyhow, anybody, I know it was an hour, but we'll do 43 minutes. That'll work. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I think we got some beer in the fridge and some. I'm not sure what we're going to. I was going to say hockey, but my team's out of the playoffs. I don't know when the Stanley Cup starts. I'll have to go look. Anyhow, everybody have yourself a good Saturday, and we will see you next week. And if you like what you see, this is not normal for my channel. Well, it's starting to become a normal thing. I tend to do more polished movies on various things, but for small games, we're trying this live stream thing. I may actually next week try and set up a Forbidden Psalm scenario and just play through that and see how that works. But battery's getting low on the phone. I need to clean up some of this acrylic paste off the old hand. I didn't get it all off. That'll be scrubbing. I love this stuff, but wear gloves. Not because it's toxic. It's just acrylic. But wear gloves because it sticks to everything, and it's a pain in the butt. It's easier just to strip the gloves off and throw them away. So, like I said, I hope everybody has a good rest of your Saturday evening, and we will see you next week. Thank you for joining. Bye.